Veganuary.
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 January.
Veganuary.
Veganuary.
Well, we always used to say, didn't we, that the hardest part about taking part in Veganuary was pronouncing it. So here we go. Veganuary was actually born on the 12th of February 2013 at 10:37 at night. And what I did was I sent a message to two of my friends, Al and James, and I titled it Veganuary. And then the message was, like Movember, but all money raised goes to farm sanctuary or similar. Good idea, ? That was how it all started. My background's in selling double glazing. It's not very glamorous. Nobody wants to buy double glazing, but you've got to try and persuade them that actually this is a good investment. It's the same with veganism. We've got to knock on a few doors. We've got to use persuasive marketing strategies. So I think all of that put me in good stead.
And I was an English teacher, so in similar respects, I was trying to teach Shakespeare to teenagers, again, which was really quite a struggle and needed some persuasive tactics. So we used that or combined that in our marketing to put forward arguments for veganism.
It was just time and energy and enthusiasm really, because we were both working other jobs, so this was like a hobby on the side. And it was really funny because in those first few years after we launched, people had just assumed that we were some big organisation, Silicon Valley backed. We had a big head office in London, but it was just me and Jane at home on our kitchen table and working other jobs. I think what kept us going was, our dedication to the movement. That's what we get up every day for. Even now is for the cause. We're focused on reducing suffering. We're focused on the animals. We still feel passionately that it's the most important cause that collectively humanity needs to be working on.
Quite frankly, I would love everyone on the planet to experience the great joys of a plant-based lifestyle. The fact that whatever arrives on your plate arrives there without cruelty. It's such an uplifting and inspiring process to every day know that you are living a compassionate, empathetic lifestyle.
We're just showing people what's actually happening, and the natural, logical step is to do something about that, and veganism is one way.
I remember saying to my mum, I didn't know what the word vegan was. I'm not having any animal products, Mum, and I'm not having any milk. It was all very instinctive. In fact, the first time somebody called me a vegan, it was weird. Somebody came to me and they had an ice cream. He went, "You want to lick at my ice cream?" And I went, "Nah, I don't have animal products." And this other kid went, "You're a vegan?" And I went, "Don't call me names." And I jumped on him and I started fighting. And somebody grabbed me and went, "No, vegans are okay. Vegan's a good word." I was like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know what it meant."
Seeing how the visibility of Veganuary has changed from the first one to the 10th one has just been incredible, because everyone knows what Veganuary is now. Everyone knows how to pronounce it, and it's just a phenomenon. When you go into a massive chain restaurant and they've got Veganuary on their menu, or you go into the supermarkets, or you're watching something on television, you're listening to the radio, you're reading the paper, it's absolutely everywhere, to the point where you think, 10 years ago, I was one of about 3,300 participants, and it just keeps going from strength to strength, which is really fantastic to see.
In the early days, Leona Lewis tweeted about us when Tesco asked their Twitter followers who's taking part in Veganuary. And we're like, it's just me and Jane, and Tesco are like talking about us on their feed. It's, you get such a buzz from it, and it was like a continuous stream of these things.
I think in terms of promoting veganism to the mass media, Veganuary has probably been the biggest driver.
I mean, genuinely for me, it's seeing something evolve from 2014 to where it is now and where it can go. It's kind of just looking out into the universe. Now I think the time is right for veganism to grow to that stage of, it doesn't matter if you're dipping in or dipping out, it's about giving you choice.
It was very, very clear that you could see exactly what the opportunity was going to be, and that this is really only the beginning. It's going to get much bigger from here every year forwards.
Something I really like about Veganuary is how there's nothing particularly combative about it. It is very kind and accepting, because even if we can think that it's not necessarily right to eat animal products, that doesn't mean the people who haven't started that journey yet are bad people, right? They are future Veganuary participants.
It's almost like Veganuary, it's kind of a genius concept. It's just kind of like, it's just kind of amazing. They came up with it and they ran with it and it's just kind of exploded.
It's cool to be a vegan now. I mean, the big thing is it's cool to be a vegan now, but whereas before it wasn't, right? And Veganuary's made that happen.
It gives people a goalpost to work towards. And then the support that Veganuary gives in encouragement, I just think it's a natural. You know, it's so great for people who want to just get healthier, give up animal products. I think it's fantastic and I really love it.
Muchas de las cosas que se están realizando en nuestros países son adaptables en Latinoamérica, pero hay que tener ciertas estrategias de trabajo para que pueda ser bien aceptada por el público en nuestro continente. Claramente los contextos son diferentes, dado que ya la campaña en el Reino Unido lleva cerca de 10 años, vamos a cumplir 10 años, y en Latinoamérica es bien reciente, llevamos 3 campañas. Entonces hay contextos que también pueden situar la forma de presentar la iniciativa de manera diferente, pero yo creo que podemos trabajar y adaptar de buena manera lo que se hace en los diferentes países.
Veganuary really launched with a huge splash in the US. That first year, we had coverage in the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the Washington Post. We had celebrities like Joaquin Phoenix and Alicia Silverstone supporting us. It just went better than I could have expected. You know, you launch something new, especially something with the word vegan in the title, and you don't know how the American press is going to react. But they really, really latched onto it, and it created some major buzz.
I mean, it was really, truly incredible. Like, we'd launched in several additional countries. We had incredible, voices supporting us. We had Natalie Portman do an Instagram story about us. We had Paul McCartney supporting Veganuary. Brian May took part. I mean, those were just huge wins. And just seeing that this campaign that was so visible and so successful in the UK could actually swap over to other countries as well. Like in Germany, there was just a lot of visibility really from year one on. In the US, we had incredible success. It was really just seeing that what we set our mission to, which was trying to create a global campaign and using the success formula from the UK and really internationalizing that, was working, and just everything combined.
We analyzed the years 2020 to 2022 and we saw a big growth. Looking at the whole 2 years since Veganuary started in Germany, we see a growth of over 700%, which is, a very high number.
I think the most difficult thing is that what works in our flagship countries, what works in Europe, doesn't always work in new places where we're launching the campaign. So it's really important to hire local staff who know the movement in their regions and can speak to their local audience through a voice that makes sense to them.
Whatever struggle you're involved in, whatever kind of awareness campaign you're involved in, you have to kind of understand cultural differences.
So whenever we start Veganuary in a new country or new territory, we need to be really aware of the cultural differences there, of the state of the movement, and really everything that surrounds that. So we really make sure that we work with expert staff on the ground that know their culture, that are from that background, and that make the strategic decisions of what we need to adapt and how the campaign can be most successful in their different country. Starting in additional countries is always a challenge, is always an adventure, but I think until now we've been really lucky to get incredible people on the ground in all of the countries where we have launched, and it's been an exciting ride.
We've been able to come up with India-specific material which suits the culture and lifestyle of people here. and we are now able to help Indians try vegan in a way that is more suitable for their lifestyle. And I'm really proud of how much we are able to reach Indians and relate to them and help them try vegan.
I think the low point was maybe in 2015. We'd had a number of challenges and we just run out of money.
Yeah, so I suggested to Jane, why don't we move back in with my mum? And we just got married, or we were sort of newly together really back then, weren't we? So to ask your new wife to move in with your mum wasn't easy, but she was really happy to have us, and we were there for 8 months, weren't we?
Yeah, she was lovely. I mean, obviously opening a home to us, but also she let us turn her dining room into Veganuary HQ. There was boxes and wristbands everywhere because of the early days. Some people might remember we had Veganuary wristbands, and so yeah, she was very welcoming, wasn't she?
On one occasion we got like 3 or 4 pallets of milk delivered by a company. They said, can we send you some samples? And we were like, yeah, and we just thought it'd be like 1 box, but it was like pallets full of this stuff. And so the dining room became this huge storage unit of, was it Provamel milk?
Some soya milk. That even, I think, a year after we'd moved out, your mum was still drinking her way through this milk.
You want me to be really honest?
It was awful. It was genuinely awful. I won't wish it on anyone.
The prevailing memory that I have of Veganuary 2019 is sat on my landing in tears, cuddling Dave, because something went wrong with my area of responsibility. I remember describing the experience as like being on a treadmill, and the treadmills just started to get faster and faster, and the emergency stop button's gone, and the only thing you can do is like keep running, but you're like running out of breath, and you just try to go faster and faster and faster on this treadmill. That was what it felt like.
December and January in those first few years, you know, were very difficult times for us. Difficult in as much as intense.
You know what? It amazes me how mainstream plant-based and vegan diets have become. And I think Veganuary have been absolutely instrumental in that. You know, going out on the weekend 6-7 years ago, you couldn't be sure that every restaurant had a vegan option, but now they don't just have 1 option, they have 2 or 3. And I think Veganuary pulling more and more people into plant-based eating has been instrumental in that.
We want to create a Veganuary effect, right? We want to create this moment in time that's all about veganism. I mean, especially in the UK, what we've seen with, you know, tracking kind of the knowledge of the population and popularity of Veganuary is that 2 years ago, about 40% of the UK population knew what Veganuary was, which was already incredible. But this year we've tested this again with YouGov, and it's been 70% of the UK population that knew Veganuary. And I think that kind of brand awareness really shows that the popularity of veganism is rising. And I really think that's not going to go away.
Veganuary has given everyone the opportunity to launch new products, talk about exciting new stuff, and connect with new audiences that might have not been within reach. So huge props to the whole Veganuary team. It's been amazing.
Whenever, I mean, I don't go out to eat a lot really, but when I do, there's always, I would say, a good vegan option on the menu as opposed to something like a risotto, which I think that's a real testament to Veganuary actually. I think there's been such a huge shift, and I do think Veganuary is at the heart of that, and that is amazing.
It's just had an impact, as I say, in raising awareness of what veganism is, showing all the options. You know, every Veganuary we have all these amazing new options in all these mainstream chain restaurants, and it's showing all these people, all these choices are right there, and you don't have to sacrifice anything. You can just be yourself, you know, you don't have to change and contort your whole identity in order to be compassionate towards animals. You can continue being yourself. So it's given veganism like a positive brand makeover, I think, yeah.
I'm inspired every day by the fact that my work can help make a positive change in people's lives, save millions of animals, and help the planet all in one go. Everything I do with Veganuary in trying to help people try vegan means that I am tangibly contributing for the betterment of people's health, animal welfare, and also the health of the planet. That's what gives me the most satisfaction.
We are staring into the face of a global climate and biodiversity disaster. We are feeling it. We're feeling it in the air. We've had our hottest summer. We're feeling it in our purses and wallets because prices are going up, and some of that is down to climate change. We need to change. And particularly young people, you know, they're looking to their immediate future and they want a healthy, sustainable planet to have a healthy, sustainable future. They're making those choices. And that's why I feel confident that Veganuary will continue to prosper and to continue to grow. And all credit to it and to all of those who take part.
Yeah, well, it's certainly become a major diary note, hasn't it? It's, what do you think, Boo? Do you know? It's the 10th anniversary of Veganuary. What do you think? Boo is fascinated by that.
It's growing enormously, and I think also, you know, the more people understand how much better it is, not just for the animals, but for the world, if they can lessen their meat consumption a bit, the more it's going to grow.
It's kind of really cool to see the kind of availability and the many options that are out there. And I think it's great that people are actually starting to realise now that this isn't just a fad, this is actually a lifestyle, and this is what growing consumer demands are demanding, consumers are demanding, sorry. And I think it's good that we're seeing such fantastic innovations coming through from other brands, and it's interesting to see the development of the category in total. And it always comes from that January period when you see the most news. So obviously Veganuary has been targeted for that, so it's great testament to the work that you guys are doing there.
I think Veganuary has been absolutely pivotal in the growth of veganism, and it will continue to be, and it's basically one of the best organisations stroke charities there is out there, and it's helped to fundamentally put us where we are right now, which is world changing.
I once went to a party and I was chatting to someone and they asked me what I did for a living, and I said, oh, I work for Veganuary. And she was like, no way. I said, yeah, I get you. She's like, I get emails from Veganuary all the time. I was like, oh, well, have a look up, you'll see my face. And she got her phone out and she, you know, scrolled to the bottom of the email and there was a little picture of me in the sign off. And, you know, she just went on to talk about how much she valued Veganuary and how much she liked the content that she receives from Veganuary and what a difference it made to her life. So, you know, you think that's just one person, and we, in the last campaign, we were emailing over 700,000 people. It's quite moving to think that you've impacted people's lives like that.
When people ask us this question, you know, how does it feel, everything you've achieved? And usually when we got it, we were in the midst of Veganuary, and you just, I don't know, I'm rabbit in headlights. I don't know how to feel. I've not had chance to process it. I've not had chance to feel yet. But I guess it's surreal, wasn't it, to think that something we started from a kitchen table in Yorkshire has got celebrity endorsements and supermarkets getting involved and headline media, TV appearances.
Yeah, I mean, I think Veganuary is probably sort of the defining moment in our lives in many respects, isn't it? It's certainly the thing that I'm most proud of, and the most success we've had is starting that.
So Veganuary's now had sign-ups in every single country bar 2, I think it is, which feels very surreal.
Yeah, so it's North Korea and the Vatican City, but I'd like Pope Francis to take part.
We'll get the Pope next year.
Yeah.
For me, it's very much the visceral reaction of walking down the high street and seeing Veganuary in shops, going into the supermarket.
You know, it's really weird to think that, you know, something we started 10 years ago is now at 10th anniversary, but I mean the organisation has grown up, the campaign's grown
a lot. You know, 700,000 people taking part, expansion into other countries, into Germany's. We're massive in Germany now. We're growing into other countries, which is great. And I mean, for us as well, we're just immensely proud of how the campaign's gone. It's been amazing, but we're not resting on our laurels. You know, with so much more work to do. And I think Veganuary going forward has got so much more potential to expand and to develop, particularly internationally, but also at our home base in the UK as well.
I think for the future of Veganuary, we are aiming for that vision. And so our vision for Veganuary is a vegan world.
Oh,
wow.
Wow. Thank you.
Is this proper?
It's all vegan.
I didn't know if it was just like cardboard.
Is it vegan? Oh, wow. Who got us this?
Veganuary.
Oh, lovely.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah. 10 years of Veganuary.
Congratulations.
Wow, that's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing.